The Stoics teach that virtue is the highest good and that vice is the source of misery. But what of those who are so ensnared by vice that they become a source of destruction to others? Evil to the Stoic is not some mystical force, but the absence of reason, justice, and wisdom. To recognize those who embody vice is not to hate them, but to guard oneself and remain steadfast in virtue. Here are 10 evident signs that one is in the presence of an evil person. 1. Deception as their language. An evil person is rarely direct. They weave words like a spider spins its web, crafty, intricate, and meant to ensnare. Truth is inconvenient to them. Lies serve their purpose better. A Stoic discerns words but judges actions, for only actions reveal the soul. Deception is not always blatant. Sometimes it takes the form of half-truths, omissions, or misleading implications. Such a person may claim innocence while knowingly leading others astray. They might disguise manipulation as concern or spread falsehoods wrapped in a veneer of sincerity. The Stoic, however, sees beyond words and recognizes the weight of actions. He does not fall for flattery, nor does he allow persuasion to cloud his perception of truth. He holds firm to honesty and expects it from those he trusts. History is filled with deceivers who rose to power by weaving illusions. But in the end, deception is fleeting, and reality cannot be distorted forever. The Stoic seeks neither to deceive nor to be deceived. His words align with his actions, and his soul remains untainted by falsehoods. He stands firm, knowing that truth is the foundation of virtue. 2. Manipulation through guilt and fear. They bend reality to their will, coercing others through shame or terror. They do not persuade with reason but with distortion, making their victims feel responsible for their own suffering. The Stoic, firm in self-command, resists such manipulation and sees through false narratives. Manipulation is a subtle poison, often disguised as concern or duty. An evil person may use guilt to keep others in servitude, making them feel as if they owe endless debts of gratitude or loyalty. They may instill fear of abandonment, of failure, of punishment, to control those around them. The wise man recognizes these tactics and understands that true virtue does not operate through coercion. He neither yields to guilt nor submits to fear, for his sense of duty is based on principle, not manipulation. The ability to recognize manipulation is essential for inner peace. Seneca reminds us, "No man is free who is a slave to his flesh." The same applies to the mind. True freedom comes when we refuse to let others dictate our emotions and actions. 3. Contempt for justice and fairness. Evil shuns the balance of justice. The wicked seek power, not equity, and trample fairness beneath their feet if it does not serve them. The Stoic stands unshaken, for justice is not something to be begged for, but lived out. A person who disregards justice sees no value in balance or equity. They manipulate rules to their advantage and discard them when inconvenient. They excuse wrongdoing when it benefits them and punish honesty when it poses a threat. The Stoic understands that justice is not a fluctuating principle dependent on circumstance. It is a steadfast virtue. He does not bend his morals to suit the powerful, nor allows injustice to corrupt his spirit. He embodies fairness, even in the face of unfairness. Cicero once said, "Justice consists in doing no injury to men, decency in giving them no offense." The wise man is committed to this principle, holding steadfast even when surrounded by those who pervert justice for their gain. 4th, lack of empathy and cruelty. Toward others, the evil person delights in the suffering of others or is indifferent to it. Their heart is hardened, unmoved by pain they cause. The Stoic, though strong in discipline, cultivates kindness and recognizes shared humanity. A person without empathy is dangerous, for they do not see others as fellow travelers in life, but as tools or obstacles. They may take pleasure in cruelty or simply not care about the consequences of their actions. The wise man understands that to harm another is to degrade oneself. True strength does not lie in dominance over others, but in mastery over oneself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The Stoic, then, ensures that his actions align with virtue and not cruelty. 5. Envy and resentment. An evil person resents the success of others. Rather than striving for greatness, they wish to see greatness fall. The Stoic, unmoved by petty jealousy, seeks only to improve himself. Envy is a consuming fire that provides no warmth. It destroys the envious person from within, making them bitter and unable to appreciate the good in others. Instead of learning from those who excel, they seek to tear them down. A Stoic finds no joy in another's failure, nor sorrow in another's triumph. His only concern is his own character. 6. Disregard for promises and loyalty. To an evil person, loyalty is a tool, not a principle. They are faithful only when it serves them, and betray without hesitation. The Stoic, however, values integrity above all, and remains steadfast in his commitments. A man who cannot be trusted with his word is unworthy of trust in any matter. A promise made should be a promise kept, and loyalty should be earned through consistent actions, not empty declarations. The Stoic does not make commitments lightly, but when he does, he upholds them. 7. A need for control over others. An evil person desires power over people, not power over themselves. They seek to dominate, to dictate, and to bend others to their will. Such individuals see others not as equals, but as instruments to be controlled. Their authority is not based on wisdom or respect, but on coercion and fear. They believe that strength comes from command, yet they are weak in spirit, unable to govern themselves. The Stoic, however, understands that true power lies in self-mastery. He does not seek dominion over others, for he recognizes that the only control worth having is over his own thoughts and actions. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True leadership is not about bending others to one's will, but about setting an example of discipline, wisdom, and virtue. 8. Relentless negativity and pessimism. An evil person poisons the minds of those around them with endless complaints and hopelessness. They see the world through a lens of cynicism, always assuming the worst and discouraging those who seek improvement. Their words erode the spirit, filling the air with despair and dissatisfaction. They take comfort in spreading their misery, ensuring that others are weighed down by the same burdens they refuse to lift. The Stoic acknowledges hardships, but chooses to rise above them rather than be consumed by despair. He understands that suffering is part of life, but it is our response to adversity that defines us. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The wise man does not dwell on misfortune, but instead focuses on what can be changed and accepts what cannot. His presence uplifts others, providing a beacon of resilience amidst the storms of life. 9. A desire to sow discord. An evil person thrives in chaos and division. They whisper lies and fuel conflict, setting friend against friend and turning harmony into discord. They are not content with peace, for peace does not serve their desires. They manipulate, deceive, and twist words to plant the seeds of resentment, knowing that a fractured group is easier to control. The Stoic, in contrast, acts as a force of unity and harmony. He does not entertain gossip or spread rumors, for he knows that division weakens the soul. Instead, he seeks truth and fosters understanding, recognizing that strength comes from cohesion, not conflict. Epictetus teaches, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. The wise man remains steadfast in virtue, unshaken by the tumult around him, striving always to mend where others seek to break. 10. Pleasure in the downfall of others. An evil person revels in the misfortune of those they despise. Their heart is filled with envy, and rather than striving for excellence, they wish only for the failure of others. They celebrate when rivals stumble, taking joy not in their own accomplishments, but in the destruction of another's progress. They mistake the suffering of others for their own victory, blind to the reality that true success is built on one's own merits, not the failures of others. The Stoic does not concern himself with the failure of others, but with his own moral progress. He understands that envy is a self-inflicted wound, one that corrodes the soul and poisons the mind. Instead of rejoicing in another's ruin, he focuses on self-improvement and inner peace. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, wrote Marcus Aurelius. The wise man does not compete with others, but with himself. Measuring progress by virtue rather than comparison, he seeks to uplift rather than destroy, knowing that true greatness is not found in the misery of others, but in the cultivation of wisdom, justice, and strength. Vice and deception often masquerade as strength, but the Stoic remains vigilant, resisting negativity and corruption. By recognizing these signs of evil, we do not fall into hatred, but instead fortify ourselves. We do not let others dictate our path, but walk with virtue, unwavering in darkness. If this discussion resonated with you, subscribe to my channel for more insights on wisdom, resilience, and self-mastery. Join the journey of growth and strength.